Welcome to Yank Your Mets, the podcast that covers all things Yankees and Mets, often down the middle or just a bit outside. I'm your host, Phil Wolf. I will be your Yankees fan for the remainder of the program and beyond. I will always be a Yankees fan, regardless of who wins the MVP, the division, any of that stuff. But I'm joined, as always, by my co-host in mourning, Chad, Mr. Met Voss. And Chad, what are the Mets doing? What's going on?
I don't have words. And this is what I said. I was like, they're playing the Marlins. This is what they do. This is just what they do. I mean, just show up. I don't care if you lose a tightly played game, but just don't fucking play like they're playing for a month. They're playing not to lose. And you can't play like it's clear as day. I mean, it's just from the Clay Holmes, just like hanging out. And who scores from second on a wild pitch, by the way?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
How do you let that happen?
I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question.
No one should is the answer. Unless you're playing the Mets in a playoff race.
Yeah, things are unraveling very quickly with 2 games left in the season. The Mets are in win and must win every game, really, from this point out. I want to get into that. I want to talk a little bit about Dylan Ross, who the Mets are calling up to bolster their bullpen with 2 games left in the season. We'll see what difference that makes. We'll talk a little bit about the Yankees, because that's what we do. We're recording a day early just because tomorrow promises to be a very busy day, and we want to get this out before things really get crazy.
We just want to make sure the Mets are still mathematically relevant.
Yeah, otherwise, we wanted to get this in before the Mets truly have lost the season. But so we'll talk a little bit about the Yankees and just a couple of extra thoughts on the AL MVP race. We talked about it last week. Both Judge and Raleigh, very deserving, and want to call out a couple of comments that all of our loyal listeners and TikTok followers have shared with us. Legions of fans. Across all of the platforms. But let's start with the Mets. You talked about it, Chad. I think the question is, it's not about, I mean, obviously we want the Mets to make the playoffs, and I want the Mets to make the playoffs. But there's clearly something fundamentally wrong with this team. What happens if the Mets just don't make it? From your perspective, what has to change with this team?
Oh man, where do I begin? It's pitching, and they probably got to make a deal. I think they're going to move on from McNeil. I think they're going to move on from Pete. I think those 2 moves, I don't want them to blow the whole thing up. They're not a bad team. They're having one of their best offensive years as a team ever. They have 2 30-30 guys, one of 3 seasons ever where a team has had 2 30-30 guys. The other being,
it's remarkable.
Hojo and Darryl, or one of the others. It's going to be the pitching. The pitching has to change. I'm not on board with getting rid of Stearns or Mendy. It's not their fault. The players are just playing super tight. They've got to relax, and they won't. They're under a microscope that will continue to be on them next year. They came in with high expectations, and as I've said many times, I must have uttered this on the podcast as well. The Mets with expectations fail. The Mets are an underdog team and are only good. The only memorable seasons that I have experienced are when they're underdogs. Except for 86. Like 86, yes, they had expectations after 84 and 85. But I was 8 I was 8 at that time. So, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. 86, the Mets win it, and when you're that age at 8, you think every year they're gonna win it, and then 87 and 88, and 88 they were supposed to mop the floor with the Dodgers, and they got smoked. And it's just been every time the Mets are supposed to be good, they disappoint. Hardball is back in the early 90s. It was nowhere near close. They were always sort of the underdog to the Braves in the late '90s, like that, which made it fun. I loved those Piazza teams. Late '90s Piazza teams. But just any time in 2006, they did not make it to the World Series. 7, 8 collapsed. I just flipping through. There's just anytime there's expectations on this team, it fails to deliver.
Yeah, and with Soto's contract, it's going to be kind of hard to get out from under that weight. I mean, and you said this last week, whenever they spend, they don't hit the mark. And I mean, obviously with spending comes expectations. Soto's got this massive contract, richest in sports. So how do you separate that? At some point, they're going to have to perform under the weight of these expectations, because Soto's contract is going to become a huge sticking point if he doesn't get the Mets out of this funk. And still 2 games left, they can make the postseason. But and you said this right before we started recording, even if they make it, so much has to change with this team. I agree. McNeil and his attitude has to go. Alonso's the big piece that you hate to see go, because everyone talked about him as a lifelong Met, finishing his career as like the home run leader for the organization, all of that stuff. And I don't think you or I would put the failures of this Mets team solely on the shoulders of Pete Alonso, but sometimes you just have to change something. And for better or worse, he is in a position to step away from this team when he opts out of his contract, which I think we all expect him to do. Maybe the Mets offer him a contract. I think just to offer him something would be fine, but I don't know that it's going to be at the AAV that he's looking for. And we know, what happened last year with Boris. I can see them offering him a contract, but I think there's going to be very little in terms of negotiation. It's like, this is what we're giving you, take it or leave it. Goodbye if not.
Yeah. I think I don't see them going more than 3 years.
Yeah.
And maybe there'll be some more opt-outs, but it's like at this point, yeah, I mean, how many times are you going to go back to this opt-out well?
Yeah, right.
And it's in the one sort of, you ask like how the expectations with Soto, the good thing is he's not to blame either. It's not like he's not living up to the contract. He's not being Jason Bay. He's not, he's delivering on his end. So that's encouraging. If it's one thing if all of a sudden he wasn't able to hit, but I mean, he may get 40-40.
I mean,
if he steals 2 more bases,
that's insane.
That's nuts. He might be a 40-40. Oh my Lord.
He might be 40 years old. I mean, who knows?
He might be 40. Who cares? Who knows?
He might be. Yeah, you're right. He might be 40-40. No, and that's a great point. Soto, I think, is bust proof. If anyone can come to the Mets and still perform, live up to a contract, that's Juan Soto. He is maybe one of the best hitters of my lifetime we've seen in the sport. So you have to feel good that he's at least locked up. But I think I don't know that we've seen David Stearns really be David Stearns yet with the Mets, right? He's been here a couple of years. The Soto move was a Cohen thing. Just go out, spend the money. I think at this point, you gotta have to let Stearns be Stearns and try to massage this roster to a point where he feels like it's set up for success, not just for next year, but years beyond.
But I mean, is Stearns, that begs the question, is like, was Stearns because of the budget that he was given in Milwaukee? Like, he didn't have, I mean, basically Juan Soto was his entire payroll in Milwaukee. And Stearns built his, it's all built on his controllable pitching.
Right.
Which we have a decent amount of, and I think Stearns kind of was Stearns. That's why Griffin Canning came back. I think Minaya, and Frankie Montas, like those. Frankie Montas was the Stearns move. He was trying to basically swap Sevy for Montas. And Minaya, I wanted Minaya. I did not want Montas. I wanted Crochet, but probably would have had to give up Sprout in that one. Mm-hmm. But which I'm fine with, because they're probably about, how old's Crochet? 25?
Yeah, 25, 26, I think.
Sprout's probably 24?
24,
so,
25.
Yeah. I'd rather give up a complete unknown for for a stud.
Yeah.
But that, obviously that ship has sailed. So I think Stearns kind of has been being Stearns a little bit, at least as it comes to the pitching staff.
Yeah. Canning, you point, he got injured. He started off the season really well. The Mets got off to the hottest start in baseball before Canning went down.
Yeah. When Senga got hurt on June 13th. And you know how Senga got hurt?
Pete Alonso. Was it Pete Alonso? Oh,
Pete Alonso throw where he had to jump up and he came down. He's like, oh,
God. Sorry, Pete, you got to go. You're killing our pitching staff. You're giving them run support, but you're also straining their, arms and body parts.
And let's be honest, Senga has not been the same pitcher since.
Yeah. He's going to need to find some more magic, though, as far as the pitching is concerned. I don't think you really have to do anything with the offense. Even if you lose Pete, I think this offense has enough to sustain itself. Lindor and Soto at the top of that lineup are dangerous. A great 1-2 punch. There's guys that you point to. If Alvarez can come back and stay healthy, he's run into some just unfortunate injury problems, none of which are really his fault. Just wrong place, wrong time. Brandon Nimmo's another one. I don't know what his contract status is, but he's having a really good year.
He's signed the long term a couple of years ago, so
he's good. Yeah, no worries. I think we want to believe in Vientos. He's had a down year. We've seen stretches where he's been okay. Yeah, and Beatty. So I think the offense is fine. You got to find another first baseman. But there's Kyle Tucker out there who doesn't play first, but is certainly a bat that you could look at and say, like, if we want to just go the extra mile offensively, let's sign Kyle Tucker to a long-term contract. That would be kind of counter to the way Stearns does things, but who knows what happens? Who knows? But anyway, they sit firmly a game, tied, right, with the Reds. But since the Reds have the tiebreaker, they are the third wild card. So the Mets need to really win out, today, tomorrow, the last two games of the season for them to make it. I think they can do it. I've maintained I think they're a better team than the Reds. I don't buy the Reds. They're just playing better right now.
How do you not buy the Reds?
I just don't. They don't
in the playoffs.
I know.
They are in the playoffs.
I know.
There are two games left. How do you not buy the Reds?
They're going to be eliminated in the first round. They're just not that good.
1,000%. Yeah. They're not beating the Dodgers. This isn't about the Dodgers. I think what's hilarious is I'm sitting here, I'm reading who starts game one for the Mets. It's going to be Nolan McLean, but then it's like,
after that, what
else? What else? They're even talking about not even putting Peterson on that roster.
Oh, given how bad everyone else has been? That would be surprising.
The staff is a complete dumpster fire. Complete dumpster fire. Tong, he's shat the bed the last two starts.
I know, poor kid.
Yeah, I know. He's going to be fine. Trust me, I know. I talked to him.
And he told me he's going to be fine.
We have Clay Holmes going today. I guess it's going to be a piggyback with Manaea. Who the hell starts tomorrow?
When did Peterson last pitch?
Let's see. I think he lasted 2 innings a couple days ago.
I'll bring him back. But give him another 3 innings and call that his quality start.
I'm sure he threw 70 pitches because he was getting his ass handed to him. So I'm sure it was a full start's worth of
across 2 or 3 innings.
Across 2 innings.
Oh,
man. There's literally no one.
There's no one.
Dylan Ross.
There's Dylan Ross. Great segue, Chad. I'm glad you brought him up because the Mets are calling up Dylan Ross to help with their bullpen. This might seem like a nothing move, 2 games at the end, but it could make the difference in crunch time in an inning where you have to save a game or hold a team down. You bring in somebody a team has never seen before. At this point, what do they have to lose? Dylan Ross has had good numbers in the minor leagues. He's 25 years old, 2.17 ERA across 49 appearances in the minor leagues. Most recently pitching to a 1.69 ERA with 39 strikeouts over 29 games in AAA. Those are really good numbers, and he could eat you up 2 innings in crunch time in either of these 2 games in a moment where they have to have it because the bullpen, as you said, has been shaky. He could be a difference maker. You can win and lose games in the middle innings. So maybe Dylan Ross becomes that guy. Maybe
Phil.
I'm trying to give you hope here, Chad.
Yeah, let's for 5.5 walks per nine on Dylan. So let's and then we'll breeze past that. And you're telling me a team with a $300 million payroll, 300 plus, is coming down to 2 games in the season, and you're telling me that Dylan Ross is going to could be the difference maker for my playoff dreams? Dylan Ross? That's what I'm supposed to have. You're asking me to have hope with Dylan Ross.
What else can you lean on, though? I mean, look, I think the offense can also come out these next 2 games and just bludgeon the Marlins. I know they have 2 good pitchers, but they won't. Maybe we'll see. But this could be a moot point. Dylan Ross may not even pitch in these games, and the offense can just carry them to postseason. So to the postseason, maybe. But you have to try something, and I think it's the same idea we talked about with Nolan McClain, just injecting some younger blood, get some new life, and maybe you win these last 2 games. I
mean, I hear you. I see the angle. If my season comes down to Dylan Ross pitching an important inning, then what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, bless. I mean, they had the opportunity up 2-0 yesterday. They had a bunch of opportunities to add to the lead. They don't. Sprout cruising along, 4 innings, 1 hit, and then just falls apart.
Yeah.
And the defense falls apart. And then, I mean, did you see the two steals were without a throw?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole team is just asleep.
Yeah. That's. If this were the Yankees, they would blame that solely on Aaron Boone and just not having your guys ready to play and energizing your team. I don't want to blame Mendy. I don't think you can, given the start that he had and the run that the Mets had last year. But yeah, that wasn't a good look, and that's something you put on the manager.
It's every game.
Yeah,
and you're telling me the Reds or the Mets are better than the Reds. It's every game. There's something new. Clay Holmes not covering home. A dude scores from second on a wild pitch.
I know.
Frankie's kind of cruising back there, and then he's like, oh, shit, somebody's there. And then he's like, wait, where's my pitcher?
Heads up, guys. Heads up. Let's go. 2 games left. Got to win. Clay Holmes versus Perez today. He's beatable. Good. He's beatable. So's Holmes. But
what's his ERA, Phil?
4.20. Perez.
Oh, I thought it was a 2.90.
Maybe over the last couple of weeks.
Did they switch? Who the hell's pitching? Perez? I thought it was.
That might be tomorrow. I mean, because you got Cabrera, and he's another solid starter.
The Mets really do well against good pitching. That offense just hums.
But I don't know that other than Nolan McClain, I think I'd rather see Clay Holmes on the mound today versus David Peterson or Tong or anyone else. I mean, Holmes is the guy, right? You got to win. He's it.
I mean, there's our game 2 starter.
Yeah. Right. It's Holmes. McClain and Holmes.
Oh,
and then Manaea behind him.
This team is woof. I mean, just woof.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens with the Mets. A lot's to look out for there. They play at 4:00 today. Here's hoping they win today and then again tomorrow. The Yankees have been playing really well. They've kept pace with the Blue Jays. They sit now at a mathematical tie, but the Blue Jays have the tiebreaker because the Yankees have just played so utterly poorly against them and for large stretches of the season against everybody. But the Yankees find themselves in a position to win the division, which I didn't think we would be in even 2 weeks ago. I did not see us playing this well down the stretch. I wanted them to.
Jazz did.
Jazz was, coming to step on necks and all of that good stuff. But look, the Yankees are in a good position, and I think it's getting to the Blue Jays a little bit. And if you've been following, the news in Toronto, George Springer accused Major League umpires of giving the game, of making calls against the Blue Jays to give the Yankees the division, which just seems so absurd, but also kind of clues you into the mindset of someone who's already been accused of cheating in George Springer.
Wasn't he on a certain team?
Yeah, so I'm not surprised to hear these comments from Springer, and love it as a Yankees fan because it shows just like where their heads are at, having, I think they had a 5-game lead, is 2 weeks ago, let's say, and the Yankees have closed the gap to come back and tie. Part of that was playing well against the Blue Jays the last time they saw. But I love that we're in the Blue Jays' heads right now. Of course, we still have to win. We are firmly in the number 1 wild card spot, so we know that we're going to get at least one home series in the postseason. But I'd love nothing more than to come back and beat up on the Jays and take over the division lead and get a first round bye.
I was going to ask you, do you want that? Do you want that division title?
I mean, I said I think last week that maybe there's something to be gained for playing as the wild card team. How many times have we seen wild card teams just go on runs where it's like, and they were a wild card team, right? And given the Yankees' propensity to just play very lax in these kind of big game situations with leads and sort of feel, the sense is that they would take things for granted and not play every game with this sense of urgency. I thought maybe there was something to coming in as the wild card. If they win the division, great. I think that's fine. And I think most Yankee fans would probably tell you, yes, let's win the division. Let's get a first round bye. So there's no chance that we get eliminated in the wild card round, because if the season ended today, we would play the Red Sox and Crochet in game 1, and he's destroyed us. So I don't care that we'd be playing the Red Sox at home. The Red Sox scare me more than any other team in the American League. And I don't really want to see them. I get that we would have to probably play them if things stand pat. But I want the division. We want to be the best team. And we want every advantage we can get. And if that means winning the division, so be it. So yeah, I do want the division. And I want George Springer to keep thinking that MLB is conspiring against the Blue Jays because that means he's not focused on playing baseball.
That is true. No, I love seeing that if I'm a Yankees fan, that like, because again, it's a little bit of that you may not think it, but I feel like that sort of attitude and that sort of psyche translates to the field. You just play tighter. That means you're worried about the wrong things and you're playing tight, and you start making Mets moves. You start bobbling the ball. You start throwing it to the wrong place. You start falling asleep. And I don't know if Springer, he's a veteran, right? Like, I don't know if he's saying that to fire up his team. Like, come on. Like, even if it were true, like, what? Like, come on. Just
own it. Yeah, the Yankees have played so poorly. Like, to say nothing of the fact that we were like one of the worst teams from like June 13th to the middle of August. I know there's that June 13th date again. You let us come back, and we've also played well. Look, so this might come down to one foul ball or fair ball, whatever the call was at the time. I think they called it foul, and Springer thought it was fair. But like, the reality is you've played yourself in a position where now we are tied and you could lose the division. Yep. And I'm sorry, that's got nothing to do with the umpires. No. You weren't even playing the Yankees. You were playing the Red Sox.
Come on.
And that just goes to show you we're in his head. Mm-hmm. So I love that. And, I've never liked Springer. I know he's a great player, but honestly, he's been the difference maker for the Jays. I think this is his best full season with the Jays, and a credit to him and, Vlad and everyone for like playing up to the level that I think everyone thought they could be 2 or 3 years ago when they got these guys. Springer, namely, coming over from Houston, has been, injury prone and has not been the same player. So he's played great, and a big part of the reason why the Blue Jays are in contention. But we're playing better right now, and it's not because and if we win the division, it's not because the umpires gave it to us. It's because we took it from you. So sorry.
There is that. And it's also they're playing the Red Sox, who. So you're saying the MLB is sitting there and orchestrating all of this, and then the Red Sox win, and then the Yankees may play them in the wild card. But then if the Red Sox eliminate the Yankees, then sorry, George, your theory doesn't hold up at all.
Doesn't hold. First of all, a shout out to everyone who's commented on TikTok and any other platform for tickling the algorithm and sharing your thoughts on our content, because it's a big part of the reason why we do this. And I love the discourse and chatting ball with everyone who comments. When we last spoke about the AL MVP race, Judge was the odds-on favorite. Cal has now taken over. I think he's at minus 130. Judge has about even money at plus 100. So, my thoughts really haven't changed. I still think Judge is the AL MVP, but I want to make one thing clear. Cal also deserves this. Despite whatever I think and Yankees fans' opinions are and who leads in what category, like, Cal is MVP worthy, and if he got the MVP, I wouldn't care. I really, truly wouldn't care, because he is deserving of it. He's 60 home runs, an RBI leader, switch hitting, catcher, all of that stuff. The bottom line is that stuff doesn't matter to Yankees fans. We don't care about it. The same way we don't really care about Jazz's 30-30. Individual accolades, statistics, awards, whatever, don't matter. What matters to us is championships. And that's something that Mariners fans really don't know anything about, because they've never even seen a World Series. So I get that you really, really want this for Cal, because he is deserving of it. And according to Vegas, he's probably going to win it. And I'm happy for you, because you need this more than we need this. I still think Judge is the better player. He's leading in just about every other category except home runs and RBIs. But I said this last week also. If Cal is going to win the MVP, it's going to be because the Mariners overtook the Astros in the division and Cal was surging. And both of those things have happened. The Mariners are going to win the division. Cal has been amazing. But I don't know that people understand how good Judge has also been to end the year. Over the last 7 days, they both have 4 home runs. Cal's got a 280 average, 840 slug, 1197 OPS. Judge has 4 home runs, 400 average, 1050 slug, and a 1636 OPS. Over the last 28 days, Judge has more home runs. One more home run. 2 less RBIs, still more. He's hit 378 over the last month. Cal has hit 217. Cal's OPS is 1027. By any stretch, a really good OPS. Judge's is 1352. So as good as Cal has finished the season, and he's finished the season very strong, Judge has finished it stronger. And by the way, to answer a question that you asked last episode, when Judge went down, he missed 10 games because of his arm. The Yankees were 2-8. They won 2 out of 10 games. If you take, and this is a credit to how much more balanced the Mariners are, because they have a really good team around Cal. The Yankees don't win when Judge doesn't play. And if we're talking about value, that to me says more about the value of Aaron Judge than it does any other player. Okay? The Yankees don't win without Judge. Cal hasn't been hurt this year, and a credit to him. So you can't really measure them the same way. But look, give it to Cal. We have bigger pictures in mind. We have bigger goals on the horizon, and just give it to Cal and get it over with, because honestly, we don't give a fuck about it.
That's it.
Drop the mic.
That's all you got. There's a chance. That Judge could also hit 100 points higher than Cal. Like, it's close. What's he? 331. Cal's hitting like 248. Okay, yeah. Cal's not gonna. It's not gonna happen. But it's almost 100 points. Yeah, it's insane. What's his throwout percentage? Cal Raleigh, is he above 30%? No, he's actually in the 70th percentile of caught stealing average. So he is a good defender and receiver of the ball. Okay. In metrics that really now favor catching, we talked about this last week. Catchers are built now to steal pitches rather than to throw base runners out in pop time. His pop time, he ranks in 39th percentile. His blocks above average, 17th percentile. He's not great at the blocking. He's good at pitch framing, and he can throw base runners out. That's important. That's important. I'm not taking that away from him. He is a good defensive catcher by important metrics. And he's having a great offensive season. There's no question. If he wins the MVP, I'm fine with it. But the Mariners don't scare me in the postseason. We're 5-1 against them this year. I'm not worried about them. Ooh. We crushed them. Easy there. Pump the brakes. I'm not worried about the Mariners. I'm not worried about their pitching staff. I'm not worried about Cal Raleigh. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not. Look. I would put my money on the Yankees winning that series, but I wouldn't be like, oh, I wouldn't just brush them off.
I'm brushing.
I mean, now you're getting that. Now
I'm
you're
brushing.
getting that Yankee. Now you're just getting that Yankee swagger.
That's right.
Now you're
That's right.
a Yankee fan. You're just getting that Yankee fanness.
I'm ready to go.
Look at us. Oh, all of a sudden, wow, we're going to win the division. Take your MVP. Whatever. We're here for the World Series. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? I'm trying to make the fucking playoffs.
I'm sorry. I had to.
No, I mean, and that's the thing. I know you're not wrong.
I also think
at the end of the day.
Yeah, I just also think that there's something about this season with Judge winning. He's going to win the batting title, and I know average is not looked upon the same way it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. I still think it's important. It speaks to the quality of hitter that he is. You just don't see hitters that hit 330 and 50 home runs. Oh, by the way, he's got 53 home runs because he just hit another one. But
does he have 4 50 home run seasons?
4, yeah. There's something about the way Judge is playing and the way this Yankee team is playing that gives me hope and confidence that they are not going to be, an offensive zero in the postseason, which we've seen in years past. It's always been the offense. We have the pitching this year, and the offense is just clicking. Guys like Ben Rice, we talked about Jazz, Trent Grisham at the top of the lineup. Just a deep roster of guys that can hit really, really well, big game pitchers with Fried and Rodon at the top. I just feel like there's a level of go-get-itness that we haven't seen in years past with this Yankee team. And I think some of it is because they've had to fight their way back to this position that they're in now, where they may win the division. So there's a certain feeling around this team. I hope it sticks through October because they're going to need it. They're going to be facing good pitching. But I don't want to say it's their year because I'm not willing to make that step. But I think they're playing with a chip on their shoulder, and I love that going into October.
You said the go-get-itness.
Go-get-itness.
Would you attribute that? Would you attribute that or give any credit towards Mr. Boone?
Yeah. Look, I'm a Boone defender. I think part of what makes a good manager, and you see this in Mendy also, who worked under Boone, is you don't get too high, you don't get too low. And I think now that it's crunch time, he has kind of lit a fire under this team and just kept the guys together. I don't think they were ever in danger of falling apart, given how bad that they've played across stretches of this season. I just think Boone knows how to manage the players. People get on him for mistakes like bullpen, batting order, like lineup construction. When people complain about lineup construction, they're complaining about analytics. When people complain about bullpen moves that managers may or may not make, they're complaining about analytics. All of this is predetermined. And now I'm sure there's some wiggle room, given certain situations. You want a guy with a certain arm angle, or this guy has better numbers against so-and-so. All of that is fair. But really, these decisions are aided by analytics. And so when people complain about Aaron Boone, they're really complaining about analytics. And that's fine. We can talk about analytics till we're blue in the face because it's had an effect on baseball that I think you and I would probably say doesn't make for the most intriguing game, right? But at the same time, everyone's doing it. Everyone is doing it. And the teams that use it the most, aside from the Mets, who, did well last year, had a better team last year, started off great this year. The teams that use it the most are the teams that win. The Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Astros, the Yankees, the Mets. It's a tool in your toolbox and you use it. And I think Yankees fans also live in a bubble. They don't look outside of New York City. They don't understand what's happening in Los Angeles. Dave Roberts is doing the exact same thing. Okay. And he's a World Series winning manager. So I think we need to just take a step back and realize that Aaron Boone is a good manager. He's gotten this team this far. He's gotten us to the World Series. He could win it. He could have, if not for that 5th inning and a couple of blown pitches that Aaron Boone didn't make. I would definitely give Boone credit for the way this team is playing. Absolutely. People, give him all the blame and none of the credit. And I think he deserves a lot of credit. Let me flip the script on you then. Mendy comes back next year, regardless of the outcome of this season.
He better.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'll be honest, like this, I don't like this team. Like, I just don't like the 2025 Mets. I loved the 2024 Mets, and there was just something about that energy. I don't like this 2025 team, and maybe it's Soto. There's just something different. I didn't want Soto. Like, I'll be honest, I didn't want him on the team because I just thought the chemistry and what we had going on last year was so special and unique. I wanted them to re-sign Iglesias, but whatever. I'm not going to say that him not re-signing is the reason why, but
Sure.
I just don't like this team. I don't think it's Mendy's fault. I think he comes back. I think he should come back. I think he's the right person. He's got
a 3-year contract. Is this?
I don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually, it's usually a 3 when they start out. But I don't blame him. My thing is always like, if you're gonna fire the manager, who are you replacing him with? And like, is there anybody out there where it's like, oh, we gotta have this guy?
Right.
I just, nobody, like, it doesn't matter. I like Mendy. I mean, they pulled him, sort of from the heap, for lack of better terms. They gave him a shot, and he's done phenomenal things. I mean, what that team was last year was special. They were as terrible as you could be, from the Jorge Lopez mitt going over that, the foul ball thing. I mean, I was just like, this team is a complete dumpster fire. And then Grimace threw his pitch, and we were off and running. Mm-hmm. But there's something special about that 2024 team, and Mendy is a big reason why. There's something it's missing, obviously, from the 2025 team. I mean, they've got to be 0-70 now going into the bottom of the ninth. That the team last year, anytime the opposition scored like multiple runs in an inning, they would always come back and counterpunch. They would always get another run back, like instantly. It was like, oh, we're down 3-0, boom, it's 3-2. Like Pete Alonso home run, or Brendan Nimmo home run, or whatever it is. This team just doesn't have any fight. Doesn't have any. It's like they just expect to win, and I don't know if that's Mendy's fault. I don't think it is. It's just sort of like this psyche that has fallen over the team. And I don't think if you replace the manager, I think it's still the same players. And I still think it's such a mental game. And, they need that reset of the off season. And it almost kind of doesn't matter who the manager is. They just need to get away for an off season and reset and just clear their heads. Because something's not right with this team. And Mendy or not, it doesn't matter. They need a break.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Mendy too. I think he, from all the press conferences I've seen, I think he's the right guy. I can't speak to the moves he's made, or the questions around bullpen decisions or lineup, or any of the things that people like to complain about that, could lead to teams losing games. When you get off to the lead that the Mets did, and you look at last year, you clearly think Mendy's the guy who can lead this team. But like you said, the team's got to play better. And maybe it's going to take an off season. We'll see how this season plays out, but maybe it takes an off season to just flip the script, and maybe just a couple of extra players, like small little tweaks. To your point, I think there's enough talent on this team, but talent doesn't win baseball games the same way it does in other sports. You need consistency, you need team chemistry, and you need, again, the mental fortitude to get over these situations, which is what's really surprising, because the Mets, like when they beat the Cubs. They win that series against the Cubs. Like, this team's coming back, like they're playing right down, and then it's like, just to turn around and then shit the bed against Miami. You're like, is this the same team? How could this be the same team?
Yeah, because you're a Yankees fan. You don't. I'm a Mets fan. I mean, what did I tell you going into Miami? I was like, I do not want to go into Miami and have to win games. Like, I just don't like anything about that situation.
Yeah.
And even after the Cubs series, I was just like, just wait for Miami.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and this is classic.
It's the mental side of it, right? It's like we don't play the Cubs. We can beat the Cubs, even in Chicago. But the Marlins, a division rival who knows us.
Oh yeah. Oh, and they've pushed us out before. Just look at 2007, and then was it Tom Glavine? Oh, it's just a game. Oh, shut up, Glavine. Like those. What's the worst thing you can tell Mets fans? He says coming off his fucking throne in Atlanta. Oh, it's just a game.
I know. Says the former Atlanta Braves pitcher.
like, oh my God, what, talk about just,
oh man.
To me, I feel like this season is a microcosm as to why we sort of started this show to begin with. It's baseball in New York, and one team seems to always rise to the occasion when there's expectations, and another doesn't. And guess which one that is, Phil?
Well, historically, it's been the Yankees that rise and the Mets that don't. But I still think, Chad, you're going to shoot me for saying it, but I still think the Mets get in. I still think the Mets get in.
Stop! Stop!
I'm sorry.
I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Every time you say that, they...
Earmuffs. Yeah. Earmuffs.
Oh, God bless.
Daddy swear.
I don't... I don't see it. I just don't. And it's a good thing we're recording on Saturday before 4:00 because there's a very good chance that come the end of this evening, my season's over.
No, please. Well, let's go over the scenarios real quick before we close out. The Mets, if the Mets lose and the Reds win, the season is over.
Season's done.
If the Mets win and the Reds lose, the Mets regain control and have to then win again or hope the Reds lose.
You want to know the most Mets scenario, which would probably happen, and I'll just call it now. The Reds are going to lose both games, but so will the Mets.
Oh God! Oh no! Oh no! Oh my God! That would be so Reds. So Mets. Excuse me.
That would be so Reds.
That would be so Reds. No, gosh, I just hope that doesn't happen. I truly do. Like you
and me both.
Yeah, no, I know. I've come to like watching the Mets games, just for the show and because of Soto, and I like watching. Yeah, indeed. And I'm glad you brought up position because playing in New York, also going back to the AL MVP race, is something that Cal Raleigh doesn't have to do. What's easier, hitting 60 home runs in Seattle or 53 in New York?
West Coast, nobody pays attention. He's hitting home runs when I'm asleep. Who cares? Those things don't happen. Those don't exist.
Didn't happen if I didn't see him. If I was sleeping, they didn't happen.
Yeah.
All right, Chad. Well, I think we should close it there. I'm not going to ask you for predictions because I think I already know where those land. And I want to let you go because you got other games and various events to get to. So I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for watching, listening across all platforms. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review, whether you think we deserve one or not. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at YankYourMetsPod. Find us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon. I think we're there. Anyway, just look for us. Find us, search us, comment, all of that good stuff. Really appreciate all the shares and engagement and comments thus far. Keep them coming, and we'll see you next week.
Tip your server.